Here are 20 signs that you might have too much clutter and some ideas around how you can reduce it. Hello, my name's Rachel. I do videos about decluttering, minimalism and my no spend year, and today we're going to talk about those signs of too much clutter. There may be some that are obvious and there may be some that are a little more subtle that might be kind of creeping in and might help you to realise that it is clutter and it is taking up a lot of your valuable time and effort. As I go through the different signs of clutter, I want to share some little tips and advice on how you can counteract it, how you can improve the situation and start working towards a calmer environment for you. So although I talk a lot about minimalism and a minimalist living lifestyle or slow living or simple living, it doesn't mean you have to do that. I'm just able to signpost you to different strategies that might help you get into a more manageable position. So let's go through the 20 signs of too much clutter. Number 1, your room feels untidy at the end of each day. If by the end of the day you are looking around your rooms and feeling like it's untidy and not as you want it, that is a sign that things are not in the right place. They are kind of cluttering up surfaces and it's going to start to feel overwhelming and create little stress triggers for you mentally. So one thing that you can do to kind of keep the tidiness at bay is to make sure that you're always putting things back where they belong. So if you have a drawer for cables, always try and put the cables back in that same drawer so that you are always putting things away. You could put in a little evening routine where you just spend 5 to 10 minutes clearing some things away. It doesn't mean that you'll achieve it all in one go, but over a week or 2 weeks you might start to see a difference in the visual clutter around your home and it might feel that little bit more tidy. Another idea is to make sure that everything has a home, so find where is the best place for that thing to live. Make it somewhere near where you use it so that it's easy to put back and easy to find, etc. So you're creating that simple system that is easy to follow for everyone in your household. Sign number 2 is that you have no usable countertops, particularly in your kitchen. So if you go to your kitchen and you don't feel like you have any surface to be able to prepare food or dish up food, that is a sign that there is too much stuff out on the surface to be able to make room for you to be able to make food and prepare food. The best thing that you can do is try and clear as much off of the counter as possible. So put things into drawers, into cupboards, and make sure that the surface is clear as much as possible. Try and clear it at the end of each day and make sure that the dishes are done regularly so that you are able to have a clear area around your sink. You want to kind of have those strategies in place, go through the items that are on your kitchen counter. Do you need to keep them? Reduce down what you have so that you have less on there, and anything that you don't use on a daily basis, have it away in a cupboard or see if you can donate or sell it. Sign number 3 is that you don't know where your money is going. This was a big one for me when I realised that I had too much stuff. I could spend all of my leftover money after bills, etc., and not know where it's going. It would be like random little things that I would be buying for the house or extra food items and just random stuff, and I couldn't tell you what I'd spent my money on. It was a really bizarre concept. It's not as if I could say, well, I don't have any money this month because I spent £300 on a bag. I couldn't tell you that because it was just random little bits and pieces and it was just stuff I didn't need. So if you are finding that you are spending money on you don't know what, that is a time to have a look at your finances, see where it is going. The best way you can work that out is to collect your receipts over the month and really look at your spend and see what it is you're purchasing and see how much you're spending in different categories like homeware, parking, days out, etc., so that you've got a really clear picture of where it's going so that you can then think about how you can reduce your spend. Sign number 4 is that you buy things that you don't need just because it's on sale. If you're somebody that always goes out to the regular sales and just goes and buys, that's probably a sign that you have too much clutter, because you are buying things that are not specifically what you need, because you're going a bit ad hoc on your buying, because you think, oh, it's a good deal, it's on sale, but you're not actually thinking about the reasons why you're buying it behind that. Is it something that you actually need, or is it just an extra item of clothing, even though you've already got something very similar in your wardrobe or your children's wardrobe? Think about what it is you're purchasing, and if you are going to a sale, always shop with a list of things that you need. So get in the habit of knowing what is missing so that you're not buying things that are out of that category. Sign number 5 is that you have boxes in the attic or garage and you don't know what's in them. If you can go to your garage or your attic and point to a box and tell me what's in it, great. If you're looking at that box and thinking, I have no idea what's in that box, that is a sign that you have got stuff that you do not need and are probably not likely to access. So go through it, be realistic about what you do need to keep, what are memorabilia items or heirlooms that you want to pass on, and get rid of anything else that you don't need. Be realistic about what you're storing. That is valuable storage space in your garage and in your attic. So only keep things that are essential. Sign number 6 is that it takes too long to clean your home. Hands up, I am not a fan of cleaning. I don't like cleaning, and if it is a situation where I know that it takes too long to clean my home, I am very unlikely to want to clean it and get it done, and it kind of switches me off, it demotivates me. If it's taking too long, that's because you've got too much stuff in the way, too much stuff to move around to be able to clean thoroughly and properly. So that is a sign that there is too much stuff there. So again, I've mentioned about clearing surfaces. That's a really easy way to make it easier to clean. Have countertops clear, have things away as much as possible, so it's easier to do that regular daily clean without much effort. And have stuff that's easy access for cleaning. Have like a basket with your daily cleaning products in, and only have what you really need for that. Do jobs as and when they need to be done, rather than doing them excessively as well. Sign number 7 is that the sink is always full of dishes. If you're always having dishes piled up in the sink or next to the dishwasher, that is a sign that you might have too many items. The less dishware that you have, the more likely you are to just clean it as you go and keep on top of it. If you have excess, you kind of always reach for a new item rather than just cleaning something. It creates those different habits. Reduce down those items so that you only have what you really need and will really use, so that you are able to manage your inventory. Sign number 8 is that you still have items with tags or labels on them. If you are finding that anytime you go to your wardrobe there are still items that are unworn, that's a sign that you're buying things that you don't really need, or buying things that aren't going to serve a purpose for you, and they were unnecessary purchases. So go through and see if there's any items that you could sell or donate that are with the tags on, and see whether or not you really need them or want them, and just go through and see if you can reduce down those items. Sign number 9 is that you feel stressed when you are at home, and this one definitely impacted on me. Anytime I used to come home, I used to feel quite overwhelmed because there was just stuff everywhere, and it just meant that it looked like another job that needed doing. And now when I come home, it doesn't feel like that. It feels calm, it feels stress-free. It doesn't look like I have things to do everywhere because it's all tidied away, I have less stuff. It's just easier to manage. So the best thing you can do here is just reduce down, declutter as much as you can that you do not need. Sign number 10 is that you have stuff everywhere and nothing has a home. If you just find random bits and pieces on sides, on the floor, on countertops, by the sink, if it's just random stuff everywhere, that means you have too much. You need to go through it. You need to get rid of anything that's rubbish. You need to go through and see if there's anything you can declutter, anything you could donate, anything to sell, and really reduce down your inventory within your home. Sign number 11 is that you have clothes everywhere. Clothes in drawers, clothes in a wardrobe, clothes in a pile up on the floor, clothes by your bed, clothes on a chair. If you've got piles and bits and pieces everywhere, you've got shoes in random cupboards downstairs, by the door, in the hallway, in a cupboard. If you have stuff everywhere and it's all clothing, then that's a sign you have too much stuff. Because if you've got things randomly in places that you don't really know where they are, how are you going to use them? And that's the reality, is you're probably not. So you need to pull it all together, you need to go through each category of clothing and see what you really have and see if you can reduce it down. Sign number 12 is that you are constantly reorganising your stuff. If you like organising, a bit like me, I love organising, don't like cleaning, but I like organising. But I used to do it a lot and I was like, why are the systems not working that I'm putting in place? And the answer was there was just too much. Too much stuff means it's harder to manage and create simple systems. It's just not realistic, it's not manageable. So the less stuff you have, the easier it will be to organise things. Sign number 13 is that you have expired food in your cupboards. This means that you're not regularly going through your cupboard, putting the oldest stuff at the front and the newest stuff at the back, so that you're rotating through, you're not meal planning and using up things that you have got that is fresh or ready to use that needs to be used up. Get meal planning, get using things up as much as possible on a regular basis. I tend to do once a month. I will try and use up as much as I can within my cupboards so that I have less inventory and I keep on top of those expired items and prevent them from expiring. Anything that you're unlikely to use that is close to expiry, see if you can donate it to a food bank or friends and family that will be able to use it. Sign number 14 is that you don't feel comfortable inviting people over. And a lot of people get this one, and it's really sad that you don't feel like you can socialise with people in your home because you're worried about having to tidy up before they come and it just feeling overwhelming of a job, so you go to theirs instead. Try and reduce down what you have so that it feels calmer in your home, and then you'll feel more comfortable inviting people around. Sign number 15 is that you often can't find things. I used to say that my chaos was organised chaos, and generally I could find things, but if you're at the point where you can't find things, that means there's too much to look through and too many areas full of stuff. That means that you can't find those things. There's too many piles, there's too many collections of things that you can't find what you're looking for. So you really need to start reducing down and organising things into the right places, make sure everything has a home so it's easier to find things in the first place. Sign number 16 is that there is limited floor space or movement around your rooms, because either you've got too much furniture or there's piles of stuff on the floor not being dealt with. So if that's the case, then you need to look at whether or not you need all those pieces of furniture. Could you reduce what you have so you have less occupying space, so you get that better movement? This will help with cleaning, with tidying, with that sense of being in control of what you have. So reducing down the amount of stuff you have is going to have a big impact here. Sign number 17 is that you want to declutter but you don't know where to start. This is a sign that there's too much stuff because you feel overwhelmed by different parts of things everywhere and you are feeling lost. And what I want you to be able to do is be able to make some steps in the right direction. So my best recommendation is trying to follow my little acts of decluttering on social media. I share them on TikTok and Instagram for you to be able to do a little area each day, like the glove box or bedside cabinet or your shirts or your blouses, etc. I go through one area every day for you to follow and help you start decluttering. When you get those little habits, it makes it easier to start doing bigger jobs, bigger areas, because you get more comfortable with being able to let go of items. So always start in an easier area as well. So if clothes don't bother you, then go through clothes, because you know that might be an area that doesn't matter to you. Or if you know that you've got loads of stuff under the sink, loads of cleaning products, but you're not that fussed about different products, I would go there, because that's easy, an area to just kind of get rid of stuff that you're not going to use. Just donate it to friends or family that might need it, or just use up as much as you can so that you don't have to waste any money in the process. But yeah, think about easier areas for you. Sign number 18 is that you have lots of duplicates. It might be that you have duplicate or similar jewellery items, you have similar clothing items in your wardrobe. Having duplicates means that you didn't realise that you had an item, you buy another one, and then you realise and you find the other item. It ends up meaning that you've wasted some money, and that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be saving money and not buying things that are unnecessary. So thinking about what you already have will help, but reducing down what you have so you can see what you have means that you're less likely to buy duplicates, and always go shopping with a list. Sign number 19 is that you have lots of just in case items. Items that you think, oh, I'm going to store that in the shed because I might need it one day to do a project. Those kind of things, or I'm going to keep this size of clothing because I might lose weight or I might gain weight or I might have another baby. And you're kind of keeping them just in case, but you're not sure that you're actually going to use them, or they may not even be good quality, or they may not fit that well anyway. So decide whether or not you really need to keep those items. Be honest with yourself. If you haven't used them in the last year, are you likely to use them in the next? And sign number 20 is that you can't eat at the dining table. It's one of those easy catch-all clutter areas where people just dump things as they walk past, or the post gets put there and things like that, and it becomes like a mound of stuff. And if you're at the point where you can't eat dinner, that means you are using that as a system rather than actually dealing with the products or dealing with the items. So you need to get in the habit of clearing the dining table, making sure that you can always sit down for food, and having systems in place for the things that you keep wanting to put there. So there are 20 signs that you have too much clutter, and some tips and tricks on how you can work through them. Let me know below which ones you found the most helpful, or what you're working on at the minute. What have you been decluttering, and has this motivated you to get started with decluttering? I've obviously got more videos about how you can declutter and some advice and strategies, as well as some declutter with me videos that you might find helpful. And I should be back for more videos soon. Take care. Bye.